Shalom Aleichem. This week's Parsha is Kdoshim, holy people. We ask the question, in our modern day era, can we as the body of Messiah still be a holy set apart people to Elohim? We start our reading with Leviticus 19 verse 1 and onwards. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to all the congregation of the children of Israel, and say to them, Be set apart, be holy, for I, Yahweh, your Elohim, am holy, set apart. Elohim's wish for Israel after bringing them from Egypt, Mitzrayim, was that they would devote themselves to him in keeping his covenant and being faithful in their worship to him. We find the wish in Exodus 19 verse 5. He says, Elohim says, And now, if you diligently obey my voice, and shall guard my covenant, then you shall be my treasured possession above all the peoples, for all the earth is mine. And you shall be to me a reign of priests, and a set-apart nation, a holy nation. Those are the words you are to speak to the children of Israel. But then we see Israel failed miserably in the golden calf incident in Exodus 32. They were found unfaithful and wanting to be utilized in the set-apart service of the tabernacle and to draw near to Elohim. Thus he chose Levi, the Levitical order, to do service instead of Israel. We find the passage, Bamidbar, Numbers 3 verse 5. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, Bring the tribe of Levi near, and set them before Aaron the priest, and they shall serve him, and shall guard his duty, and the duty of all the congregation before the tent of appointment, the tabernacle, to do the service of the dwelling place. And they shall guard all the furnishings of the tent of appointment, the tabernacle, and the duty of the children of Israel, to do the service of the dwelling place. And the stranger who comes near shall be put to death. Thus we see that the duty was solely the responsibility of the Levites. Although Elohim chose the Levitical order to service the temple, the Old Covenant temple and the Levitical order would end in the New Covenant as foretold by Yeshua. So in Matthew 24 verse 1 we find Yeshua foretelling the destruction of the temple. And going out, Yeshua went away from the set-apart place, the temple, and his taught ones came near to point out to him the buildings of the set-apart place, the temple. And Yeshua said to them, Do you not see all these? Truly I say to you, not one stone shall be left here upon another at all, which shall not be thrown down. The question arises, why would Elohim allow the temple to be destroyed? We find an answer in Hebrews, in the book of Hebrews, chapter 8, verse 1. And we read, Now the summary of what we are saying is this. We have such a high priest who is seated at the right hand of the throne of the greatness of the heavens, and who serves in the set-apart place, the temple, and of the true tent, the tabernacle, which Yahweh set up, and not man. So Yeshua is high priest of a better covenant and the heavenly tabernacle. Elohim wanted to establish a better covenant and an eternal priesthood in the heavenly temple with Yeshua as its principle. Let's continue reading in Hebrews 8 verse 6. But now he has obtained a more excellent service, in as much as he is also mediator of a better covenant, which was constituted on better promises. For if that first covenant had been faultless, then no place would have been sought for a second. For finding fault with them, he says, see, the days are coming, says Yahweh, when I shall conclude with the house of Israel and with the house of Yehudah a renewed covenant, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Mitzrayim, Egypt, because they did not continue in my covenant, and I discarded them, says Yahweh. Because this is the covenant that I shall make with the house of Israel after those days, says Yahweh, giving my laws in their mind, and I shall write them on their hearts, and I shall be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. And they shall by no means teach each one his neighbor, but each one his brother, saying, Know Yahweh, because they all shall know me, from the least of them to the greatest of them. By saying renewed, he has made the first old. Now what becomes old and growing aged is near disappearing. At last, the goal as envisioned by Elohim is reached in the renewed covenant. In 1 Peter 2 verse 9, we read, But you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a set-apart nation, a people for possession, that you should proclaim the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light, who once were not a people, but now the people of Elohim, who had not obtained compassion, but now obtained compassion. Hearing of the wonderful promises of fullness and blessing that we are to inherit through Yeshua, the question arises, how are we to gain this gift? Yeshua gives us the promise of a gift himself. We read in John chapter 16 verse 13. Yeshua says, But when he comes, the Spirit of truth, he shall guide you into all the truth. For he shall not speak from himself, but whatever he hears he shall speak, and he shall announce to you what is to come. Is this why the sin against the Holy Spirit cannot be forgiven? In Matthew 12 verse 31, we read, Because of this, Yeshua says, because of this, I say to you, all sin and blasphemy shall be forgiven men, but the blasphemy against the Spirit shall not be forgiven men. And whoever speaks a word against the Son of Adam, it shall be forgiven him. But whoever speaks against the set-apart Spirit, it shall not be forgiven him, either in this age or in the age to come. Let us not be found hardening our hearts and minds against the voice of the Holy Spirit that shows us the way of truth. We read a warning in Luke 13 verse 22. Yeshua, and he was going through the cities, and someone said to him, Master, are there few who are being saved? And he said to them, Strive to enter through the narrow gate, because many, I say to you, shall seek to enter in and shall not be able. When once the master of the house has risen up and shut the door, and you begin to stand outside and knock at the door, saying, Master, Master, open for us. And he shall answer and say to you, I do not know you, where you are from. Depart from me, all you workers of unrighteousness, all you workers of lawlessness, or all you workers of Torahlessness. Let us focus to live up to the expectations of Elohim, to be a people faithful, working, and holy, set apart, ready for the return of our King Yeshua. Shalom.